water in there?
I'll take one.
Is there water in there? Go grab water.
I got one. I'll grab one.
Thanks, John.
I just want to start out by congratulating Georgia. I mean, they have, to this point, by far the best football team we play. They're big, they're physical. Kirby had his team ready, and I didn't. It's the bottom line, and you know, a lot of mistakes in the game. But the bottom line is we're just not where we need to be physically yet, because they dominated us on both sides of the ball, and certainly, you know, our special teams, at least early in the game, were not productive. And you know, we came in here wanting to start fast, to take their crowd out of the game, and the opposite happened, and it put us in a hole, and we never could climb out of it because of their physicality. I'll take questions.
We got questions in the chat. Tom?
Yeah, Sam, you kind of covered a lot of it, but what were just your takeaways? You know, what allowed them to control your run game and be able to run?
Well, a bunch of it was we started in the hole. You know, we worked on the stem and the movement and all that, but evidently not enough because we had several jump off sides, which, you know, it's hard to get 10 against Georgia, let alone 15, and on the first one it was 20. You know, guys, I don't want to simplify this, but they just whipped us physically. I mean, it wasn't guys in the backfield turned loose or anything like that. We couldn't block them, and we couldn't get off blocks a lot of the day. And then when we did, it took us a long time to get them on the ground. And you know, we got to get better, and we will. But today, they just out-physicaled us and kind of played bully ball on us and made us like it. And we didn't like it, but there wasn't nothing we could do about it at times in the game, because they were just rolling us out of there and on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Coach, I know you got to be disappointed, but the penalties, I think there are 18 flags thrown on Arkansas, and I think 13 of them were accepted. How do you get those corrected? And it seems like it's been a little bit of an issue this year.
Well, we just got to keep working on it. You know, we had a lot of pass interference calls. We had a lot of jumped off sides, both sides of the line of scrimmage. And, I mean, we have officials at every practice. We're going to have to emphasize it a little bit more, I guess. I guess we're going to have to do something instead of just bringing them out off the practice field, do something different. Because, you know, obviously if we knew how to stop it, we would have already been doing it.
Bob?
Sam, you guys have been pretty good against the run, against some pretty good teams this year. What was different about Georgia today, and how tough is it when you couldn't make it to where you had to make Bennett pass? They really were able to beat you without having to pass much.
Well, their offensive line. I mean, their offensive line's good now and big and physical, so that's how you run the ball. And then they have big backs that were hard to bring down. I mean, we worked on tackling a lot this week. We knew that they were going to be hard to get down, you know, on the ground. But it's even harder when when they're double teaming you and they're knocking you back, and then, you know, he's got 3 or 4 yards before he's even touched. And some of those turned into 10, 11-yard runs, you know. Some of them didn't, but a lot of them did. So, I mean, it was just the physicality of their offensive front there.
And you guys had false starts on your first 2 offensive plays. How surprised was that? Do you think that just had a lot to do with the crowd, not having played in front of a big crowd really in 2 years?
You know, I really have no idea. I mean, we practice it. I have no idea why they jumped off sides. I mean, I'm not a mind reader. Hell, I don't know. I mean, we practice it. We practice it with noise. That we stemmed them, we moved them. They jumped off sides. I don't have any idea why they jumped off sides. I wish I did. We'd fix it.
Nate.
Yeah, Sam, not only offensively, but defensively. I guess one time they got to take their pick on 3 penalties on the same play. Just anything, just pressing, or what do you think the problem was?
Had a guy off sides, have a guy hold somebody, and had pass interference, all in the same play. So, man, I don't know, guys. I mean, what's the answer? Don't jump off sides, don't hold a guy, and don't pass interference a guy. Hell, I don't know. I mean, I wish I did. We wouldn't be doing it. We'll try to fix it, you know.
As far as also just kind of regrouping, because you all had such confidence this year.
Yeah, that won't be a problem. We're not going to have a problem of regrouping. I mean, we won 4 games in a row, beat a 15th ranked, beat a 7th ranked team. We got a good football team. Georgia's a hell of a lot better than us today. A hell of a lot better than us.
Thanks.
Otis.
Yeah, Sam, since the Rice game, the special teams have really been pretty good, but today it just seemed like everything in, the field goal was missed, the block punt, just a bad field position on a couple of kickoff returns, just what happened on special teams. I mean, it was just kind of a snowball today.
Yeah, I think obviously the entire team wasn't ready for a noon Eastern kickoff, and we weren't. And we felt like we were. We felt like we had a good week of practice. But, they wrapped us on a punt block that they hadn't shown us, and they got home on it. They had too many guys up the middle, and we only had 2, and they had 4 running by us. And then, Cam's first miss of the year, and then we tried to fair catch a ball on the 7 till we get it on the 25 on the kickoff, and then we drop it, and we get it on 7. So that was all in the first half. By the time everything else was going bad for us too. So it's about, do we have the right personnel? I think we do. But just a lot of stuff we got to fix, guys. That's why I'm a coach. I mean, we got to fix stuff. We got to get better, and all these questions you're asking me, hell, I know. I've seen the same thing you guys have, and it's my job to get it fixed, and that's what we'll do.
Let me have questions. Trey Biddy.
Yeah, Coach, kind of like what Nate was saying about, not being demoralized by this game. What did you say to the players after the game? 37-0 is pretty tough to talk about, but to not let this one, I guess, carry over to next week and beat you twice.
Well, everything that we're trying to get accomplished this year, nothing was lost on the day's game. I mean, we still have an opportunity to get back and play Georgia again if we can win out on our side. I mean, our pride got crushed, our ego got crushed, but it's one ball game against a team on the East, and so we're still right where we need to be on the West, and as long as we'll go back and fight and work this week, we'll field a good football team next week, and I believe that that's what we'll do.
Bob.
Sam, I'm sure you recruited most of those Georgia offensive linemen. I mean, so you had an idea how good they were. Do you were they even better than you thought, or did you think, wow, I did too good a job of recruiting those guys?
No, I don't. I mean, they were, I knew they were very, very good, coming into the game. And when they started, it's one of those game plans where you go, oh, heck, they're going to come right at us, and they were able to do that. They rotated a lot of guys in there, a lot of kids that played well for them up front. But, your line can be really good, but your running backs, they're bought into the same bully ball type stuff that Coach Smart is bought into, and they were able to do it to us. But I knew they had a really good offensive line, a bunch of big, powerful kids.
And then you've either coached, with Kirby's Georgia teams or coached against them these 6 years, I guess it is. I mean, where is this just by far the best looking Georgia team? Well, I guess you guys played for the national title, so maybe not. But how good does this compare to the other Georgia teams you either played or been a part of?
It's the best defensive front seven that I've seen. We used to go against them all the time in practice, and they can roll guys in there. They got guys on their two team. They roll in there that could start from a lot of people in the SEC or across the nation. They've just done an outstanding job of recruiting big, physical kids that can run and like to play football. So, yeah, we played them twice in a row, and ironically, we played them better last year than we did this year, so we got to figure that out.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, Coach, I'm wondering, were y'all aware that JT Daniels might not play, and did Bennett being in there, did that change anything at all, from a defensive game plan standpoint?
Yeah, we were aware that there was a possibility he wouldn't play. We heard the rumors as well, and Stetson, we knew Stetson has started 7-8 ball games for him last year, and so I doubt that Kirby was too worried about that situation. I think he did go out there and do something and then found out that he couldn't. But no, there wasn't a big change. The only difference is that Bennett can run the ball a little bit better than JT. But other than that, we were prepared for that. For Bennett to play a lot. We thought they were going to play both of them.
Tom.
Hey, Sam, it's interesting that you go from this type of offensive attack to what you're going to see with Ole Miss next week.
Yeah.
Just how do you think your guys are going to respond during the week and change gears, I guess?
Well, I mean, it's always we're worried about we beat somebody good and then how they respond. We get beat, how are they going to respond? We're going to go in there Monday and we're going to figure out. Listen, to answer your question, I think they're going to respond well. I mean, go back a year ago when we beat Mississippi State and then we lose to the next team, Auburn, on that call and all that stuff. And then we come back and beat Ole Miss. Our kids like to play. In all honesty, we physically got whipped today, and that's what happened. And we also poured dirt on the wound because we messed it up in penalties. And if we can stop the penalties, we'll have a much better chance to win ball games. There's not a whole lot of teams like that when we just played physically. And we've got to get that fixed quick, fast, and hurry. And if we do, I think our kids will respond and play well versus a really good Ole Miss team.
Did Kirby have any encouraging words or anything at post-game?
Nah. We just visited a little bit, and I congratulated him, and Kirby's a good person, good man.
Last one, Clay.
Yeah, Coach, how was KJ this week in practice, and was he full go today?
I think he was. I mean, you'll have to ask him, Clay, but I think he was. He wasn't really good, I didn't think, until Wednesday, maybe halfway through Wednesday, maybe a little Thursday. That's why we didn't use him quite as much today. Just didn't know how healthy he was. There was times in there we talked about maybe putting Malik in earlier, things of that nature. But, KJ didn't seem to be hurting, so we decided to go with him. And
All right, that wraps up. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys.